So this is a sample dashboard we have created using a sample leads data set. The dashboard we are looking at is a highly interactive dashboard, and it showcases the main features of Tableau. At the top, we have a year and month filter, which the user can select and interact with the dashboard and filter the data by whichever year or month is required. So we can select on the drop down, and for the year we will choose 2020, and for the month we will select this as May. So during this month we have 11 leads generated. We also have the average leads per year, which is 202, and to the right here we have the average leads per quarter. Furthermore, we also have the monthly trend for the leads generated by the user for further analysis. Animation has also been applied to this dashboard, where a user can hover or select a month to view the monthly trend leads, and these are all filtered and the transition is shown. So moving on, the following section below explains the rating of leads which can be categorized as a hot lead or a warm lead. This section is also interactive, where a user can hover over at the bar or select the bar chart that he desires, and the leads by rating will reflect the percentage of the hot leads. On the right hand side here, we have the leads by status, by which a user can hover or select any of the bars to track the lead which have not been contacted by the gauge. As you can see, I can click on either open or which have not been contacted, or if it is working and not contacted, it will display me the percentage. If we scroll down, we have a section titled Leads by Source, represented as a donut chart. This section explains how the leads were generated, either through a partner or a phone inquiry, through the web, or others. Under this section, we have the leads by country. Currently, we only have 2 countries shown on the map, but we also have a bar chart to the right from which the leads are generated for each country. So we have seen the visualizations and the interactivity of the dashboard. The dashboard is also a user filter enabled, and it has its own row level security enabled dashboard. On the top right corner, we can see user 1. Thus, this means that the data currently reflected below is the data that has been created by this user only. Hence, the leads shown below in a summary of this is the user's work of the dashboard. So we need to embed this dashboard in our Salesforce account as a custom tab. To do this, we are required to perform a few steps to add an additional method of authentication. To do this, we will navigate to the Explore button here, and on this left-hand side of the Tableau page, we need to click on Settings. And once we have clicked on Settings, we will navigate to the Authentication tab. Under this tab, we can manage users and many other activities. In this tab, we need to check this box, which is labeled Enable an additional authentication method. Google will already be selected by default, and we also need to check the box under which says Salesforce.com SAML, or also known as Security Assertion Markup Language. So I'm just going to select on this button here, and we should get a pop-up where we just can select Continue. And from here, we need to select Edit Connection, and this will show us steps which we need to complete in order to create a Salesforce SAML. So the first step that we need to do is to export the metadata. The metadata has already been created as a Tableau online entity, and as you can see, the ACS, also known as the Assertion Consumer Service URL. So what we need to do in this step is we need to copy these details to our Salesforce account. So to do this, I'm going to navigate to the Salesforce homepage. And this is our Salesforce homepage. So we have a quick find over here on the left hand side. And in this box, we are just going to search for connected apps. So we will type in App Manager. And once we see this appears, we will just select on this. And once this has appeared, if we can see on the top right over here, we need to click on New Connected App. We don't have to do anything over here on this page as of yet, but we just need to click on this button. And under this page, once it opens, we are required to fill in a few details that are marked in red on the left-hand side of the box. As we can see here, just on the left-hand side of the box, we are required to fill in a few details, and it's also given a legend on this page that it's a required field that we need to input. So we are just going to name the connected app as Tableau Online, and the API name should already be generated automatically. And we will also type in a contact email ID. I'm just going to use user@example.com. And once we complete this, this should be the basic. This should be the first step of completing the basic information. And if we scroll down below, we have the web app settings. Under this, we need to select Enable SAML, and this should expand. So we have the entity ID and the ACS URL, which we need to fill. Mind you, we have already created this on Tableau. So now what we will need to do is just copy paste the details from the Tableau app over here. So I'm going to move to the Tableau app and just going to leave the remaining settings as it is. And yeah. And once we click save, then we can see the details of the Tableau connected app already being created. From here on the top, we need to select Manage Connected Apps, and we will select Manage. We will scroll down to see the SAML login information where we will download the metadata. So I'm just going to click on the download button. And so this needs to be downloaded and saved on your PC. And while this is being downloaded, we will go back to the SAML login information. And under this tab, we have the IDP initiated login URL. We'll copy this URL, and at the top of this page, we'll click on Edit Policies. On this page, we need to fill the start URL. And so on this start URL, we will paste the URL we copied from the IDP initiated login URL. And once this is completed, we can just click on Save. And after clicking on Save, this will direct us to the setup page where we can see the start URL. If we scroll down to profiles, we can see under this that there is an option to manage profiles. So we will click on this. As I'm a system administrator, I can click on the manage profiles, and once this navigates us to a page that allows us to manage profiles, I will just scroll down and select the box system administrator and then click on save. Once this step is complete, it will redirect us to a Tableau online page. So we can switch to the Tableau online page we had earlier at the start of this tutorial, and in this exercise we need to upload the metadata file that we downloaded in the previous step. So we scroll down to step number 4, which requires us to import the metadata file onto Tableau. we will just click on Browse and select the metadata file that was created in our, well, more likely saved in our desired destination. After selecting the file, the SSO service URL will automatically be created. After this, we can test the connection to the server to check if everything is working well. And so we'll just click on the test connection button. And after we have clicked this button, we should get a message saying successfully connected to the server as highlighted here. So now we need to manage the users, change the authentication type, or maybe even add any additional users. In this exercise, we will just be adding a new user in this. So I'm just going to click on the Add User button. And once we have selected this, we should receive a pop-up where we can either add a user from an email address or we can import a user from a CSV file. So I will select Add the user by entering the email address, and by default, it would already have the selected added users for the Tableau authentication. Instead, we need to click the option above, which will allow us to add users for the Salesforce SAML. Once this has been completed, we can move to the next step by clicking on Add Users. With the user added and the SSO now created, Tableau will log me out of this session and no longer require this tab. Hence, I can close this. So we move back to our Salesforce account to check if Tableau Online Connected app, which we created, is working fine. To do this, we will go to the home page of the Salesforce, and we have this icon here on the left, which is also the app launcher. We will click on this app launcher, and in the search bar, we will type in Tableau Online. Once we see Tableau Online, this is the app that we have created. So we will select this to check if we can access the Salesforce account. So the Tableau Online will open up onto another tab where you will automatically be logged in and authenticated to access the Tableau Online account from the Salesforce Connected app. So now that we have configured our Salesforce SAML and single sign-on configuration, we need to see how we can embed our dashboard into a Salesforce custom application. To do this, we need to create a Visualforce page. A Visualforce page is a simple interface where we can embed web pages. So under this quick find, I'm just going to type in Visual, and we should see the option of Visualforce pages. We will select the Visualforce page, and this should direct us to the Visualforce pages setup. Keep in mind, we are not trying to create any new Visualforce page, as we already have a Tableau embedded Visualforce page already created. So we will just clone this in order to complete the exercise completely. We will select the Tableau embedded Visualforce page, and by doing this, it should direct us to this page. From here, we need to clone the page where we can see the option right here, and we can just select on clone. And once we have selected clone, it will clone the Tableau embedded page we had selected, and we will just rename the label, and let's call this as just Tableau, and we'll also rename the name of it as Tableau as well. We need to make sure that we have this box enabled, as this says that available for lighting experiences, lighting communities, and the mobile app. We have to make sure this is ticked. Further below, if we scroll, we have some code written out in the Visualforce markup. So we need to edit this code instead of the existing dashboard URL. We just need to paste a URL here from our Tableau account. And so to do this, we will navigate to our Tableau account, and we will select our leads dashboard that we had created before. And once this dashboard has opened, on the top toolbar, we must select the share button. So once we click this, we have a share using a link option over here. We don't need the entire URL. We only need it up until the first question mark. So I'll just copy this, And once we have copied this, I will navigate back to our Visualforce page on the Salesforce account, and I will just paste this URL here where it starts to begin with HTTPS. So I'll click on save, and well, not really. I'm just going to click on preview to make sure that the dashboard is appearing fine. As you can see, it's appearing fine. And so now I'm just going to click on save to save our Visualforce page. Once we have completed building the Visualforce page and embedded the Tableau dashboard to it, we need to create a custom Visualforce tab. We would use this search bar on the top left, type in tabs, and you will see the tabs display below. Once we select the tabs from the interface, this will show the tabs we have currently created below. As we can see, under the Visualforce tabs, we already have two dashboards created, labeled as Leads Dashboard. So we'll create a new Visualforce tab. To do this, we will select New, and this will navigate us to another page where we will be required to fill in a few fields. So we'll select our Visualforce page as Tableau, and we will also label the tab as Tableau, and that'll also be our tab name. We are also required to select a tab field. So we will just select the first one, which is an airplane icon, but you can choose any style to your liking. We will leave the remaining fields as it is, and I will just click on next. This will take us to a profile page, and we can just leave it as it is and click on next. This section labeled Add Custom Apps will require us to provide an input. So I will uncheck the box at the top here, and I'll only select the custom apps that I require. So I will just select the standard sales app, and I will click the save button. So now the tab has been created. We need to check if the tab is available. So I will select the Sales Lightning app, and we can see from the dashboard is created on the Salesforce app. However, we cannot see Tableau on the top tabs. To do this, we will select the More on the extreme right, and we will click on Tableau. So we can see now that the dashboard is working, and it's perfectly fine because the visualization and the values are populating. So now we have to confirm if it is working, and the next step is to confirm if the user is available to use this. So I've already logged into another user account. I repeat the previous step where I will click on More and select Tableau. As you can see, we can also view this dashboard as another user account.